right? What reason are you here? Like when I talked to you in the interview, were you like excited about the $10 an hour, or just being able to make commissions? No, like the opportunity to be able to grow and be in my shoes. I'm not saying I'm in the best situation, but being a manager or in a position of leadership, that's what we're all striving for, right? So just understand that when you're going out there and this is part of the process to get to where you need to go. I did what you did. I started just like you did, and I grew to where I'm at now, right? So just know, have an end game to what you're doing, and and have goals in place, and it make it a lot easier. And then take control. Take control is number 8, and it just means that you're gonna, obviously take control of the situation, take control of your life, take control of the cell. When you talk about take control, it just means that you guys are, you're gonna take control of, all aspects of it. Anybody have any questions so far? No? We're gonna go over.
I actually do.
What's up?
Different locations. You said we rotate. Where are they located?
Depends on which campaign you're on. So you'll be in Costco. So we have 4 locations here in town. There's one in Henderson, one in Summerlin, one in North Las Vegas, and there's one in St. George that we staff. So the St. George location, if you work in Costco, you'll be asked to work it every other week. So twice a month, right? And we all rotate. And if you have travel issues, we have a shuttle. So it's all worked out, right? So we'll take the excuses away, but it's one day a week that we ask.
Henderson, Summerlin, St. George, and
St. George. So Centennial, Summerlin, St. George, and Henderson.
Okay.
And the one from Henderson is right across the street from the Galleria. The one from in Summerlin is right across the street from Red Rock. And then we've got one in Centennial, which is right off 215 in Decatur North Side by Aliante. And then we have the St. George one, which is about an hour and a half from here.
Everybody got this?
Everybody got this so far? Cool. So I'm going to go over do's and don'ts with you guys real quick. Okay, so these are the do's and don'ts. Okay, so I'm going to go over the do's of the nation. Right? And we talk about these are things that you want to do. These are habits that you want to create. So the first one is provide a best-in-class experience. Right? So when you're in the stores, in the clubs, in the warehouses, you want to make sure that you're focusing on providing that above and beyond customer service. You want the members to be like, man, I'm glad I talked to Quits today. I'm glad I talked to Geneva today. I'm glad I talked to her today, man. She really helped me out here. She helped me out with my TV. She helped me get set up with DirecTV. I got a gift card. It was a great experience, right? So just provide a positive experience, positive attitude, smile, eye contact, enthusiasm. The management of the store is the king. So if he asks you to do something, as long as, nothing crazy. So like, an example we use, and he'll never ask you to do this, but if he's like, hey, go sell in the bathroom, Richard. You go sell in the bathroom. Right? He'll never ask you to do that. I'm not saying that you're crazy, but if you walk in some people's houses, they make you take off your shoes. Every store has its manager, and every manager has his own way of doing things, right? So we got to read and recognize. But our objective is to make sure that we recognize him as the leader, the head of the household, and we respect it, right? When we talk to customers, it's always sir, ma'am, thank you, no thank you. Just be as polite as possible, right? Number 2 is manage dress code, right? Your image. Right? We're all adults here, but believe it or not, I've got to talk about hygiene. Right? It's crazy. Right? Just make sure, your hygiene's on point. As far as piercings, I'm a bad example this morning because I got earrings in, but you don't wear earrings in the club. Okay? So I just was visiting my family this weekend. I normally don't wear earrings. That's why I'm wearing them this way. No excuses. But earrings for guys, we don't wear them. Tattoos. I've got tattoos, but you keep them covered. I know you got some tattoos, you got to keep them covered. Okay? Whether it be like I know I had bands, he's getting his actually removed. Yeah, so, when we talk about growth, it's just, we got to keep them covered, right? Image is everything. So when we talk about dress code, this is important. Guys, no khaki pants, no jeans, ever. Not in the office, not in the field. Okay? Blue, black, gray, or khaki. Blue, black, gray, or khaki. Pants, colored.
Did you say okay?
No, cargo, excuse me.
Oh, okay.
Cargo pants, sorry about it. No cargo pants, sorry about that. Yeah, sorry about that. No cargo pants is what I meant. So no pockets on the side, right? So you can wear khaki though. Khaki colored, blue, black, gray, right? Slacks though, not jeans. The polos will be provided for you if you're working inside of Costco. If you're working inside of Sam's, it's a blue, black, or white polo. Okay, no like red, no crazy
Fuchsia.
patterns, even like this. So this gray is kind of like, but it'll work, right? Because you see how it's got a little bit, but it's predominantly gray, right? That blue is kind of getting kind of iffy, right? Because it's got the patterns in it. We want just a strictly blue. And I'm not saying it in the office. What he's wearing in the office is fine, but if you like going to the field, he works in side temps. Yeah, solid blue, black, yeah.
So
Right?
what are those colors again? Blue, black, and
Blue,
gray?
black, khaki, gray.
For the shirts, it's blue, black, gray, or white.
And you say that they provide them or we go buy?
If you're working in Costco, we'll give you a shirt. If you're working in Sam's, which, is there any Sam's guys in here? Or are they all Costco?
In here?
Yeah.
We go, well, yeah.
Yeah, you guys all.
Yeah, one or so.
One or so? Okay, so yeah, so if you're in Costco, you'll have shirts. If not, you'll be wearing polos. Number 3 is check in with management. So anytime you're entering or exiting the store, anytime you go on breaks, lunch breaks, sign in, sign out of the vendor logs, just to let the guys know in your section that you're leaving. The last thing you want, because we get secret shop, the last thing you want is somebody to come to the kiosk and you not be there and then think you're gone, right? Number 4 is become part of the fabric. So you want to obviously we're a vendor, right? But you don't want to you don't want to feel like a vendor. And you know what I'm talking about as you work there. There's certain people that they only go there and they only focus on their product and that's all they're there for. And the Costco employees treat them as such. We want to be treated as like part of the electronics section. Somebody that the Costco employees can come to and say, hey Quincy, hey, this guy has a question about TV, can you go help him? And then, obviously you're going to help him and, getting him going or whatnot. You want to, create that culture with the stores to show them that, yeah, we're part of the team, we're going to help you. We're not here just to sell DirecTV. Number 5 is the table, the kiosk image. Just make sure that this is your place of business, inside their business, right? If just like how many people got kids in the house, right? How old's your child?
Oh, I don't, it's
Okay, 5.
Yeah.
So 5. Okay, so I just think from a parent aspect, right?
Yeah,
Your whole
yeah.
your whole house is clean, right?
Yeah.
Then you go and you walk by your 5-year-old's room, and you got everything just disheveled. It's just toys are everywhere. You're stepping on Legos. It's a bad situation, right? Legos barefoot, bad, right? So that's how the manager looks at our kiosk when he walks by, and the whole store is upkept in the way it's supposed to, and our kiosk just looks like it's just disheveled, right? So they go in and they look underneath it, right, to make sure all our supplies are there. We don't take drinks, we don't take food, to the kiosk and leave it under there. It's not trash. Just make sure that members' information, right? We're not leaving that around. Just make sure that your area is professional. Be organized and presentable. Always keep your area clean. Clean the table skirt. We don't have table skirts. We have kiosks. But make sure at the end of the day you're wiping down the kiosk, making sure that everything is in order for the next person that's going to come, obviously work. Number 6 is let's cut off at the top. Handle all customer escalation. So if somebody comes up to you, right? We're not customer service, right? But if somebody comes up upset and they're like, hey, something's wrong with my package, my equipment's not working correctly, whatever it may be, all you have to do is get their information. Hey, I'm not customer service, but let me get your name and number. What I'll do is I'll forward it to my manager. We'll make sure you get taken care of, right? But make sure you're not we're not pushing customers away if they have a question, and we're there to help them or whatnot. But we're also not customer service. We're not trying to handle the situation for them. So somebody comes up to you and is like, oh, let's call DirecTV together, and you're going to spend an hour there on the phone with them haggling with DirecTV. That's not what we're there for. The option that you guys have is let me get your name and number. I'll get it over to my manager. He'll have somebody contact you. We'll get this taken care of.
And do we pass that information on?
To me. Okay. Don't give me some. They're going to come up to you and say, man, let me tell you about my story, and give you some long-winded story. Try to condense it. What type of issue you having? Billing, installation, what type of issue? Billing issue. What's your name and number? That's all I need to know. I can't help you. It's like a telephone game. You tell me what happened, I'm just going to pass it off to him. He's going to pass it off to him. By the time it gets to them, it's going to be a totally different story. So rather than that, let me just put you directly in line with who you need to talk to. I'll get your number, they'll call you, and then that'll be that. I can't help you. Cool? All right, so the best approach you tell the customer. Cool? Number 7 is obey retailer policies, right? When you talk about the break room, the smoking area, cell phone usage, we can't use cell phones on the floor, right? They ask us, unless we're calling it or placing an order, you don't use your cell phones on the floor. They don't allow their employees to do that. We can't do that. They can't eat on the floor. They can't have drinks at the table.
They can't eat on the
Sit, no, it's common sense, right? But it's stuff that we have to be aware of because sometimes we're like, well, I don't work here. I don't have to abide by the rules. That's completely false, right? So just make sure you abide by all the rules and regulations. Produce a paper trail. So anytime that you run an order, just make sure you're completing the paper trail. Like, all the information is done, completed. Costco, they pay to shop here, right? The reason why they pay to shop here is because they have the hands down best customer service ever. I just recently seen a shoe story. I seen a store employee, right? I'm in the store pitching, I'm like, hey, how you doing? And I'm just trying to create a conversation with her, and I see her walking by. She has a mixer in her basket. She's walking by, and I'm like, oh, I've got that same mixer, blah 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 blah. And she's like, yeah. She's like, I have the same. I'm actually exchanging it because the one I have doesn't have the features where it can like bend up or whatever. She's like, but I'm exchanging it. I'm like, oh, that's cool. She got the new fancy red one now, and I'm like, okay, that's nice. And she's like, yeah. She's like, let me tell you something. And she comes over to me, and she does one of these like this. And I'm like, what's up? And I'm not sure what she's gonna tell me. She's like, I bought my mixer in 2013. I was like, it took you 4 years to realize that you didn't like it? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it took you 4 years. Like, how many times did it took you 4 years to realize that you didn't like it? She's like, yeah, they're letting me exchange it. Right? Not only are they letting me exchange it, but when I bought it, it was $350. It's now $250. So they're gonna give me. I used it for 4 years, and I'm gonna get my $100 back and get a brand new one. That's the type of customer service they have, right? The members know this. So with that being said, you need to document everything that you say that you agree with them on, right? Because in the event that they say that you said something that you didn't say, they're gonna get it. And if you don't have something to confirm that you didn't say that, they're gonna get it. So you'll get dinged for it from just not creating a paper trail. You follow me?
So if they say that he told me I was going to get
I had
X package.
I had a customer say that my rep told him that he was going to get all the exclusive sports packages for free. Now, when you talk about that, we're talking about the NFL Sunday Ticket, we're talking about MLB extra innings, we're talking about NBA League Pass, and we're talking about NHL Center Ice.
Right.
Each of those packages are like $300 for each year. And she got them because my rep didn't have paperwork.
How do you make sure that you
What?
don't say that?
You just have paperwork. If you have paperwork, if they're like, hey, Richmond told me I was gonna get the movie channels free for 3 years, and then I'm like, well, Richmond's paperwork doesn't say that. Guess what? You're covered. But if they're like, hey, Richmond said he was gonna give me the paperwork or the movie channels for 3 years for free, and you're like, oh man, I had the paperwork. I don't know what I did with it. It's your word against theirs, and what's the number one rule of retail? Customer is always right. You follow me?
So that would be something we just like take notes on, or is that something that
That'll be a $500 lesson that I promise you'll never do again. That'll be a $500
So
lesson.
you mean paperwork is when we write down our
That's
right in front of you.
So basically what happens is every time you guys do a deal, you guys are gonna have to fill out this paperwork. And this paperwork is what he's talking about, what is gonna save you. Because you have
It checks off everything. They have to initial saying that you didn't say that.
Okay.
So once they initial it, you're covered. You're good.
So make sure you complete the process.
100%.
And there's no copies, it's always just.
Yeah, we take a digital copy. So we give them a
Paper
copy, and we send a digital copy to our corporate office. We're covered.
So
Okay.
his
We're covered.
paperwork was incomplete, or you just.
He didn't send in his paperwork at all.
So how did he get it installed?
They get installed. He got installed, but the paperwork wasn't completed. It's our job to submit this paperwork to cover ourselves. So it got installed.
And do you fill that out while you're talking to them?
Yes.
Or- Okay.
Yeah, you fill this out. It's not hard. I'm not like trying to scare you guys. It's an
Yeah, I
easy
just
process.
feel disrespectful.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
writing this down.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah, it's easy, but just make sure you reproduce it. Number 9 is recap everything. That just means that prior to calling in the order, just make sure you rehash worksheet explaining equipment, package pricing, and using the pointer to explain terms and conditions at the bottom right. Credit check, Social Security, 24-month agreement, credit card, etc. After the call, read through the checklist entirely. Just make sure that the last thing you want is the customer to walk away and have questions, right? Because if they have questions when they walk away, there's a high likelihood that they're going to cancel before the point of install because they don't have all the information. You follow me?
And you can ask that question at the end too. Do you guys have any questions? Do you guys need anything else? I gauge check throughout the whole process of filling out the paperwork. When I'm filling out the paperwork, I'm asking them again, so do you understand what they said on the 2-minute disclaimer? And if they say no, then I go over it again. And you want to keep going over it, because when you do, then they're comfortable and they're walking out feeling good about what you sold them.
Okay, so these are the don'ts. So the first one was the do's, the second one's the don'ts. So the first one is the no call, no show, right? There's never an explanation for that. Like I said, I look for business partners, not employees. If I got to chase you down and track you down, probably don't want to waste my time with it. So no call, no show is probably the fastest way to get fired, especially if you are expected to be at a store. Number 2 is don't disrespect any management, store employees, or customers, right? Like I said, you're going to get those rude customers at times. Sometimes there'll be an employee that, you know, maybe he feels like he's king in the castle, and, you know, whatever, just, you know, pick your battles, right? But never get confrontational with anybody that, you know, it's not worth your opportunity. You know, keep in mind, sometimes you argue with people that are in an employee mindset, and you'll hear me say that because we're trying to transition you guys from like more of a employee mindset to an entrepreneur mindset, just kind of like a, you know, big picture, big boss, you know, mentality or whatnot. So sometimes the people that you're arguing with are people that are stuck in an employee mindset, and you don't want to lose your opportunity for somebody that doesn't care about theirs. Number 3 is don't hand out personal cell phone numbers, okay? So if somebody comes up and they're like, hey, let me get your phone number and, I'll call you, don't do that. The reason why they don't want us to do that is because we've had, you know, obviously people who've moved on to other markets or just moved on from being with the company, and then, you know, these Costco customers or Costco members, they're calling them maybe 6 months down the road, or maybe they don't work for us anymore, or they don't care, and it's creating an issue. So there's a VIP number that we give them that for Costco to call, but, you know, if there's a situation where we're like, hey, I'm closing on my house and I can't, you know, run my credit today, I got to do it next week, but I want to sign up with you, hey, let me get your phone number and I can call you, and then that way they can have your phone number, but you never want to pass out your number in the store. It's a compliance issue. Costco doesn't want us to do it. So if, like, we get secret shopped and they're like, hey, Richmond, let me get your phone number, and you give it to them, that's a compliance issue. You'll get in trouble for that. So just don't do that. Cool? So always try to take their number in unique situations, but don't make it a habit of giving out your number. Cool? Number 4 is don't display customers' personal information. So, like, you know, you've got customers' personal information on here. When you fill this out, put this in a folder or somewhere away under a clipboard or something so it's not laying out. Costco doesn't want their members' information just being left around. Don't engage in inappropriate conversations. So we live in Vegas. There's a bunch of crazy conversations we can have about crazy things we did last night, what's going on in the strip, all that crazy stuff. Don't talk about it, please. It's just like any work environment. Just be cautious of, you know, who's listening to you and what you're saying here in the office as well as in the field. No taboo topics. I talked about it in orientation, which I'll explain it again, or I haven't done an orientation with you guys yet, but a couple of the things that we stay away from is sexuality, politics, religion, race, anything along, you know, just stay, you know, respect people's boundaries, right? Number 6 is don't misrepresent the product, right? So just make sure that we're giving all the right information. We're not misleading customers. We're not bashing brands. We're not doing anything along those lines. You know, as far as you know, information that we're giving, we're making sure that it's accurate. You know, just don't misrepresent the product in any way. Number 7 is don't talk about your commissions. This is a big deal, guys. Don't talk about what you make to the Costco employees. That guy may have been working there for 20 years, and you go in and it's your second week and you make more money than him, it's going to piss him off. Don't talk about what you make to him. Don't talk about the earning potential. Don't talk about anything. Your commissions and what you make is nobody's business but yours. In the office, if you had a good week and you're like, you know, Nash, like, man, I made $700, that's cool. Share with the rest of the guys. But in the don't talk about your commissions with the Costco employees. It creates a conflict of interest. If we tell them, hey, I made $800 last week and he only made $5, what's he going to want to do? He's going to want to jump ship. He's like, I can work in the same store, the same hours, and make more money. I want to do that job. And then now we're recruiting their employees. It creates a problem, right? So don't do that. It's a conflict of interest. Don't create your own flyers, right? So don't go out and, like, if it's not store approved or if I didn't give it to you, don't go out and make any flyers or anything along those lines. We've had people do that before. They got creative and like, oh, let me make this flyer and put it up. No, don't do that.
Business cards.
No business cards. No business cards because been a lot, yeah. Number 8 is, or number 9 is, no pushy or aggressive salespeople, right? So, you know, we're not trying to twist anybody's arm. Like I said, it's more of a search, not of a sell. Somebody tells you no, there's a difference between a no, I'm not interested, and a no, I don't want it, right? So just understand the difference. If somebody tells you no, move on, right? This is search, not a sell. Some will, some won't, who cares?
No.
Number 10 is don't offer personal opinion. So this is like if you go in and they're like, man, I like this TV. You're like, Vizio sucks. Don't do that. That's a big no-no, right? There's ways to suggest, you know, if maybe you're a fan of Samsung, right? If you like Samsung or LG more than you like Vizio, and you see them leaning towards the Vizio, or if you know somebody who's had bad experience with them, you might say something along the lines of like Quincy. That's actually a great TV, right? Because Costco doesn't sell any garbage in their store, right? So anything they sell is good, right? So that's a great TV. One thing that, you know, I noticed that you mentioned you like sports. One thing that I noticed with the Samsungs is the Samsungs have a 240 hertz refresh rate, which is good for like a lot of action, right? So that, you know, if you like sports, this is probably a TV that would, you know, give you a little bit more for what you're looking for, but that's a great TV as well.
So positive opinions are good.
Yeah, yeah.
No brand bashing.
No brand, and not like, hey, Richard, dude, I wouldn't buy that TV if I were you. Like, because you don't know people's situation, you don't know their financial situation, you just don't want to discourage somebody from spending money in the store because of your personal opinion.
Or if you're being secret shop by the brand that you're bashing and they represent them, let's see.
It's a bad business. Cool. Does anybody have any questions with the do's and don'ts? Everybody stand up real quick, because I want to make sure everybody's cool. Stretch for a second. Stretch for a second, just so, because it's important. All right, so you guys can sit down after that. Just stand up and just kind of, you know, get loose for a second. Cool. So as far as the next, what we're going to go over, I'm going to go over the pitch. This is how we engage the customers, and we're going to get a little bit more interactive here. You know, keep in mind our pitch is designed, right? There's a reason behind everything that we say in our pitch, right? But understanding what you're trying to do with each thing. So there's an intro, a short story. Then you go into the prezo, close, and the rehash, right? So intro, short story, prezo, close, and rehash. So the intro is real easy. Okay, this is how we engage with the customer. First off, you want to utilize, you want to give yourself enough opportunity. So as you're standing at the kiosk, right, you're going to see people coming. You want to, 10 feet back, you want to kind of start to incorporate eye contact with them, right? To let them know, hey, I'm going to talk to you, right? So it's 10-5-1, right? So 10 feet back, you want to start to acknowledge them, right? So I'm already looking, you know, eye contact. I'm trying to get eye contact with you 10 feet away from me, right? Because that's going to give me enough time to engage you. At 5 feet, I want to acknowledge you. Hey, how you doing today? You know, and I want to get your attention, right? Hey, how you doing today? And I don't acknowledge you until you look at me eye contact. By you give me eye contact, it lets me know I can say hi to you. Hey, how you doing today? When you acknowledge me back is when I can pitch you, right? This is key.
Power calls.
If hey, how you doing today? Right? And pause for a second. Let them acknowledge you back. When they acknowledge you back, that gives you permission to pitch them. Did you guys see what Costco's doing for members? Right? There's different variations of the intro, right? But the objective, the thing that you have to know in pulling them back to the table, you have to qualify them. So the first thing you want to know is who they have. Who they have, right? Because we have to know that they don't have DirecTV. If they have DirecTV, there's nothing that we can do for them. Okay? So we need to know who they have. The second thing we need to know is what they have. So if they have cable, they have internet, and they have phone, right? Because we cannot provide anything but TV service. So we need to know if they have the bundle, right? So I'm going to backslash this right here, bundle. Right?
So if they don't have the bundle, then we can do that, or we can't?
No.
We only do the
No. We need, okay, either way we need to find out. So we need to find out if they have the bundle so where we could itemize their bill and show them what they're paying just for the TV portion.
Oh, if it's
right?
a different.
But we don't offer,
service.
yeah, and if they have different, so if they have the bundle, we have to keep what they have as far as their internet and their phone, and then only help them with their TV service. So we have to find out what they have so we can itemize it to give them accurate information, give them, obviously the right plan or whatever, right?
Okay.
So we need to know what they have. We need to know how many TVs they have. So who, what, how many TVs? And how much they pay.
TVs that are connected to the cable, or just TVs overall?
You wanna know how many TVs they have so you can figure out, how much the price is gonna be.
Okay.
Because when you're figuring out the TVs, it's a different price for,
And they
cinema
have to have
TVs.
DirecTV already?
No.
No.
If they have DirecTV, we can't do nothing for
This
them.
is for us to switch them over.
We're qualifying them.
That's all I need.
Quality time, quality people. I want to qualify this person. I want to make sure I'm talking to somebody who I have the potential to sign up.
What if they have DirecTV but not the bundle?
We can't sign up. We can't do nothing. If they have DirecTV, there's nothing we can do for them.
Right.
We can't upgrade them. It doesn't matter if they're not in a contract no more. There's nothing we can do for them. We only can sign up new customers. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm not exactly sure like how services work towards like internet phone cable. So they can have a different kind of brand for internet and
Mhm.
phone, but they can have DirecTV
Yeah.
for their two. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now, so if they had DirecTV 6 months ago or a year ago and now
If they had
have
it within the
Cox,
last 2 years, we cannot do nothing for
Oh,
them.
okay.
Okay.
So if they've
So
had it
even if
within
they
the
have
last
another service, we can't switch
Yeah,
them
so
back
if they've
over.
had it within the last 2 years, DirecTV considers them an existing customer and we cannot sign them up.
And on the ad check thing, because I had a
It-
customer do this,
it-
they were, it was 2 years ago. So we actually punched in their information, the system automatically kicks them out. And they'll tell you, call back on January 16th. They'll specifically tell you when the 2 years is up. There's no questioning, there's no,
So once you put them into the system, you're gonna get a readout right away
Correct.
anyways.
they'll let you know if
Oh,
it's
okay.
been 2 years or not.
Yeah. So this is the 4 things that we're trying to find out in our intro, right? So our intro goes as such. Hey, how you doing today?
Good.
Hey, do you guys see what Costco is doing for members? Right? And what I'm really trying to do is, have you ever driven down the freeway and you see some billboard that says some random word, and then it catches your attention, and then it's something totally different, like the word. You know what I'm talking about? Right? So it's just kind of like it's meant to get your attention. You guys see what Costco's doing? And obviously they pay to shop here. Everybody's looking for a deal, so naturally they're gonna be like, no, what's going on? Right? So now that I've got your attention, I need to find out who they have, what they have, how many TVs, and how much they pay. Right?
Did you hear what Costco's doing? By the way, who do you have for TV?
But see, I can't say that because it's going to sound like an interrogation. So the way I say it is, at home you guys still using cable, right? When I say cable, I'm going to use hand gestures, right? Cable down or satellite. You guys use cable or satellite at home for your TV service?
Well, what are you telling about what Costco does?
That's what,
That's what we're doing. So that's what I'm saying. I've gotten your attention. So hey, do you guys see what Costco's doing? They're like, no, what's going on?
Okay.
Right? And I'm keeping the conversation going. At home, do you guys use cable or do you have satellite?
Okay, I see. What
They're
you're
like,
saying.
oh, I have cable. You have
So we're
Cox.
representing ourselves like we're Costco then, because we're actually in Cox.
Yeah, we're in Costco. So you gotta understand, Costco's like your big brother, right? So people pay to shop there. So we're here because Costco wants us here. And you guys will understand. Does anybody shop at Costco? Yeah, so Costco's like, they think that card is like a secret society. Like, I swear. They think like, I got this card and I'm entitled, right? So, when you say something that has to do with Costco, that's going to give you credibility.
Fair enough.
It's going to give you credibility. You want to use that. Costco has this here. Costco, 10 times in your pitch. Because they trust it. Most of these people pay many years to shop here. They trust Costco. So, when you say DirecTV, they're like, Costco has a lot more substance than DirecTV.
And none of those managers tell you can't use Costco.
We're in Costco.
Do you think us being inside of the front of their stores, they don't know what's
We're the
going on?
first.
No, I just want to make sure.
They put us in the front of the store to talk to their customer. We're the first people they talk to
They
when
know
they come
exactly
in.
what we're doing.
They want us. We drive revenue to their. When somebody signs up with DirecTV, it's beneficial for them too because they paid for it.
Oh,
Yeah. So this worked
They're
out.
kickback.
Trust me. It's a. Every space in Costco is generating revenue. There's somebody whose sole job is to go through and maximize the square footage in the store, from the aisles in the store to where the pallets are placed and all that stuff, to the wall, everything, right? So, including our kiosks. Our kiosk is required to generate a certain amount of revenue weekly. right? And so they want to put us in the best position to be able to do so. That's why they have us in the front of the store. So yes, to answer your question, we do use Costco. Costco.
And yes, they
Yeah.
do know what we're doing.
Hey, do you see what Costco's doing for members? Right? No, what's going on? At home, do you guys use cable or do you have satellite? I'm using Cox. Cox, is that like the bundle, like the internet and the phone? They're like, yeah. The reason I asked is a lot of members have been complaining about the pricing going up. If you don't mind me asking, how much are they getting you for it? Well, I pay like $160. $160? What do you got, like 10 TVs? They're like, no, I only got 3. Exactly why we're here. Let me show you what we're doing. I found out who they have, how much they're paying. What, like, it didn't sound like an interrogation, did it? It sounded like a conversation. Now, the way I've structured that, now they're thinking something's wrong. This guy understands we're a team. Let's go find out what we can do. And I'm going to turn and burn him and get him back to the table. Right? Sometimes you're not going to have the opportunity to say all that now because the stores be so busy that you have to be like, hey, how you guys doing today? You guys still using Cox at home? Yeah, you qualify. Let me show you. Right? I'm getting back to the table. I'm going to disqualify him at the table. Right? Get him away from the table. The table is your playing ground. You want to focus on getting 8 to 15 people back to the table every day. Just hook them. That's 90% of what we do is the hook. I don't care how well you can shoot a free throw. If you never take a shot, it's in vain, right? So in order for you to maximize your law of averages, you want to focus on bringing 8 to 15 people back to the table daily.
So what are the other restrictions on signing up for activity? The 2-year prior experience and what else?
That's it. So 2
That's
years.
it?
Yeah, if they've had it within the last 2 years, then they can't sign up.
Okay.
But anything besides that, we can sign them up. And then obviously with apartments, some apartments, we require a southern line of sight. So some apartments, the way they're faced, doesn't allow us to get that line of sight, right? Because there's restrictions on where we can place the satellite, because they don't allow us to place on top of the building. Normally they let you place it on your patio or on, the front of your house. So in some cases, we don't sign up a lot of apartments, but other than that, we're good.
Okay.
Yeah, there's not really many restrictions besides that.
And so how would you, on finding that information out, how would you just ask them, are you like east, west, north facing?
With an apartment,
Mm-hmm.
I just ask them, so do you guys, first off, do they let you have satellites in your apartments?
Okay.
Yeah, do you see any satellites on your side of the building? Or with any of your neighbors with satellite? Normally they'll be like, yeah, or they'll be like, I don't know. Well, if they don't know, like, hey, go check, and then if they can come back and we'll get you set up. If not, because it's called throwing wood. When you sign, because we have a certain amount of installation slots throughout the week, and when you sign somebody up who, like, there's a good percentage that they won't get installed, you're just taking a slot that somebody else could have had that. It's a waste of time. Waste of your time, waste of the call center's time, the installer's time, because he drives out there, it doesn't work. So rather than that, just make sure you're pretty efficient on trying to identify if this is going to be something that can work for them.
So DirecTV is all satellites.
All satellites. Yeah. Yep. So, hey, how you doing today? Right? I want to engage them within 10 feet, right? Once he gets to 5 feet, I'm going to hit him with my short story. Did you guys see what Costco's doing for members? Right? Did you guys hear what Costco's doing for members? Right? You don't